I need a microphone actually.
You don't need one?
Oh.
Yeah. Well, as you like.
Yeah.
You always can switch on.
Yeah, it's clear enough.
Okay, this is Casper and Leon from PPP, Perpetual Plastic
Yeah,
Project.
it's a hard name, we know. Yeah.
From the Better Future Factory, right?
Yeah.
So what is it like? Is it like an artist collective or
A design collective.
Collective,
Better Future Factory is a design collective.
That's what you have in Netherlands. It's always the same.
Yeah.
Creative people coming together.
This is the project that came out.
Yeah. So you probably saw it in the entry hall with the recycling stuff, and they're going to tell all about the project. Enjoy.
Yeah, as you said, we're from Better Future Factory. We are based in Rotterdam, Netherlands. And this is one of our projects, Perpetual Plastic Project. Today, with this presentation, I will tell you what drives us, so the motivation behind the project, how we do it, and our future plans. So to start off, our main drive, actually, or annoyance actually, is how we go about waste. We treat waste in a sort of a stupid way, and waste ends up at stupid places, landfills or even animals. Next to that, we're also about to reach peak oil, if we haven't reached it already. As you know, plastic is made from oil. So we have to come up with smarter solutions handling plastics and especially waste. Also, if you look at the amount of waste, the amount of plastic we use has grown rapidly the last decades. But if you look at the amount of plastic waste that is recovered, it's only a tiny fraction of what is being generated. So we ask ourselves, why is this? One of the reasons is it just doesn't pay off yet to recover plastic on a big scale. So our idea was, why not recover it locally and reproduce the plastic locally? And to even narrow it down, we found festivals are a really interesting environment, because in a few days there's a lot of waste generated. But at the same time, for example, the drinking cups are all made of the same material. So meaning you can create a monostream of waste having the same material. So by using this waste, you can sort of create your own building block and recycle it, reuse it, and in that way also reduce the amount of waste. So the idea behind our project is that we sort of, at a molecular scale, reuse this building block of plastic and keep on using it. So what we're actually doing on a small scale is closing the loop and reusing the waste as a building block and reusing it over and over again. But what is interesting, if you want to close this loop, you also need to create a certain value to it, and you have to sort of connect people to it. And what I found an interesting example is this chair. It's made by Piet en Eyck. It's a Dutch designer. When you look at the material cost of this chair, it's maybe 20, 30 euros, but it sells for a bit more. Can anyone guess for how much it's sold, this chair? Have a wild guess? Anyone? Well, it's 2,000 euros. It's crazy, but it shows like the story around it is created by the designer, and also the sort of only by having the name of the designer on it, it has a total different value. So that was sort of the starting point also for us. Like, how can we make waste carry more value? We want to have people integrated in the process, and even that they can design their own products in a way, and thus creating value to waste in a way. So actually our slogan is creating from junk to jewelry. Now I'll show you a movie about our product, sort of explaining the different steps we take, if you haven't seen the product already in the main hall. I don't think there's any music.
was a small scale.
So what we actually sort of created is a mini recycling plant for on festivals or other events. You already seen the steps, so I'll explain it a bit more. So what we basically do, we first wash the cups to get the leftovers out, beer or Coca-Cola, because if that's still on the filament while extruding, it will downgrade the quality of the plastic. Then we dry it in a really inefficient way, but it looks fun. The cups dancing in the air. And it also attracts people because it makes a lot of noise. Then we shred it into tiny little pieces. So after shredding it a few times, you get sort of a granulate. It's this. Then we filter it that it's about the same size, the granulate, and then it is fitted for the next step, that is extrusion. So what happens in an extrusion machine, it gets melted together under pressure, and then this filament comes out. And then it's being printed because the filament can directly be put in our Ultimaker printer. So here you see the steps again. You start with your cup, you shred it, you have your filament, and you end up with a product. And what we often use on festivals is this ring, because it's a reminder of the festival. And at the same time, because we use the actual cups on the festival, it's also it has the DNA of the festival in a way, because every festival has different cups. So at home I have a whole collection of all the festivals I went to, and I can actually see on the ring which festival it was. So it's kind of nice. And we also noticed that we've been doing this now for I think a bit more than a year. We started off on a big festival in the Netherlands, Lowlands. And actually we built our machine only for this festival, but it turned out to be quite a success, or people were really enthusiastic about it. So we continued giving presentations, and not only on festivals, but also going to companies, like hospitals, bankers, schools, whatever. And also, like, kids love the machine because the whole machine can be operated by the people themselves. So they're in complete control of the process, and then they actually feel proud afterwards because they made their own product from waste. And we also recently collaborated with a guy in the Netherlands, Rick Campagne. He designed this program called Doodle 3D. That is actually to lower the threshold to design 3D things, because designing the actual models that are being printed is, you need to know some computer programs for that. And with Doodle 3D, it's just a matter of drawing on your iPad and then click on print, and it's being printed. So it's super easy. And even old people like it because it's such a transparent machine. It's easy to explain, and even my grandma and grandpa could understand the idea behind it. So it's nice to see that it's sort of is an example of the machine is an example for young and old. And also what I thought, bankers love it, and even doctors love it. It's nice. We actually sort of made our own definition for it. We call it infotainment, because what we're basically doing on one hand is educating people about how you can recreate stuff from waste, but we do it in a fun way. So that's why we sort of coupled it to entertainment as well. So in short, yeah, it's an interactive machine. It makes people aware, and it's awesome. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit then about the filaments. As I told before, like each festival has its own DNA in a way. So as you can see, if you, for example, you are an event with Pepsi cups, you get a sort of a dark Pepsi color. This is made of Coca-Cola cups, and even almost looks like a bit like a jam. The colors you see. You can really see it on the screen. So here you have a transparent cup, but it has green letters on it, so the end result will be a green ring. And here again Coca-Cola, but because we're on a banking event, we made the logo of the bank. And we also recently tried printing with polystyrene, because a lot of coffee cups are actually made of polystyrene, so we started experimenting with this, and it actually worked quite well. That was yeah, a whole new experience, and it opened up a whole new world actually, because a lot of companies use these coffee cups in the Netherlands. So that also changed our perspective again. So maybe our machine can also be used within offices. Yeah, what I said, I mean, the machine was actually built for one festival, and now we've been working with it for about a year now, and it slowly falls apart. And there are also some challenges in the whole process, we noticed, because, for example, when the input is of different plastics, the machine will jam, because different plastics have different melting temperatures. Meaning, like the extruder has a certain temperature, the printer has a certain temperature. And if you use different plastics, one will not be heated enough, and thus the machine will jam. So creating a monostream of the same plastic is really important for this product. Another thing is the extrusion. It's now really sort of an old-fashioned way of extruding. We do it by hand, and it's quite hard to get a homogeneous end result of the filament. So we're actually now experimenting if you can automate it a little bit, but at the same time we find it very important that the machine still, the people who use the machine are still in control, so they really feel connected to the whole process. And then also 3D printing on itself has its challenges. I mean, it takes a while before a product is produced, especially on festivals. Like people want to move on fastly, so you can't print items that take like half an hour or longer. So we sort of have a target that 10 minutes for a product is the maximum, and then we put several printers so we can produce on a small scale. And then next to that, like every other material has its own printing qualities. For example, the polystyrene we tested with is it's quite difficult to get a high quality or high detail. So that's another challenge we have to overcome. It's a matter of trial and error. So for the further development, we still find festivals very interesting, as I said, because of the monostream of waste and the huge amount of waste. So we're now actually talking with festival organizations in the Netherlands, what they think of the product. Or they actually contacted us because they were really enthusiastic about it. And we're now sort of trying to find the right parties to sort of professionalize our machine and make a real product of it. So one of our partners is Ultimaker. Ultimaker is a really easy and open source printer, so you can make your own adjustments to it, which is perfect in our situation. As I said, with the software, the Doodle 3D, that lowers the threshold of designing your own product. It's really nice. And for the rest, we assembled some partners to really create this machine. And also a PLA manufacturer, so we can do some more experimenting with PLA as a material. And then other partners are the TU Delft. The whole team did their studies at the TU Delft as industrial design engineers. So closing off, with our machine we want to make a small intervention to create a small, better future. And yeah, I mean it has potential to grow even beyond the Netherlands, as you see today. Also in Germany, people are quite enthusiastic. And one of our dreams is actually to eventually clear up the oceans from the plastic waste. So it's always good, I think, to have sort of a big scale dream, so to work on, sort of a great vision you want to accomplish. We have a website, perpetualplasticproject.com. As I said, it's an initiative of betterfuturefactory.com. And we have a lot of movies and photos about our project on our Facebook page of Perpetual Plastic Project. That's it for the presentation. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, we're glad to answer them. You can also answer them in German. I have a German translator with me.
What materials have you experimented with so far?
So far, PLA, PE, that didn't really work. Polystyrene, and we experimented with ABS, but ABS is not a material that you will find on events or festivals. So we really focus on the materials we find on festivals. And that's in the Netherlands, there's now a trend going on festivals that they all are starting to use PLA because it's biodegradable. So PE, the initial material actually for cups, is slowly pushed out of the market. So that's, I think, why we focus now mainly on PLA. And PLA is also a really good material for printing, because like normal filament that comes out of the factory is also made of PLA.
Isn't there like a lot of different PLAs, for example, which you can, I don't know, have different properties and different melting points or whatever?
There are. That's why it's also sort of a trial error for us when we, for example, extrude the filament. But in general, the melting temperature, or the melting frame, as you call it, like is the same for PLA. But it really depends also. For example, we notice the amount of printed logos has effect on extrusion and printing. You have different kind of PLA. You even feel it of the material if it's more ductile or not.
Isn't it a problem that the filament you produce on your extruder is very short?
Yeah, it's about mostly about a meter or something. Yeah, so we can print a few rings of it in one.
Is this a problem? Or?
Yeah, that's one of the things we definitely want to optimize, that we actually get it on spool and that we can continuously produce filament. So then you have to, I think, partly automate the process to get a sort of a homogeneous filament out of it.
Well, if you are on festivals, isn't all the things you use for the filament, is it properly marked that you can actually identify which plastic it is, or do you have, is it a problem when the people just use some stuff which is something else, and then I don't know, a machine jams or doesn't work?
Yeah, it does happen, of course. But most cups you can see it on the bottom which material it's made of, almost always. And you can also sort of we created a feeling for the material that if you tear it, and even if you try to burn it, you soon find out what kind of material it is. And it also has to do with our background as industrial design engineers. You get a lot of education about plastics, so that helps in a way. Okay, well, thank you all for listening. Have a great night.
Yes.
Hey, er kan er maar één de winnaar zijn.
Jij bent de winnaar. Interesting project.
Thank you very much.
Two questions.
Yeah, sure.
First of all, can I use some of the material on your Facebook page, because I'd like to write up on it before our news site?
Yeah, sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Could you send me the link though?
Of course.
Because
yes,
then we can
definitely.
repost it again.
Yes, of course. And the second is, can I take a picture of you?
Yeah, sure. There's one.
Great, thank you. No problem.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. And is it what kind of is it?
It's a IT tech news site.
Yeah.
Gule. We're pretty big, so
Okay, cool. Nice.
hopefully you have good coverage.
Yeah. Let's see. That's fine. And you want to take a picture?
Yeah, outside.
At the machine or?
At the machine would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you.